During President Ruto's ongoing tour of the Luo Nyanza region, there is something Kenyans have observed. Imewakula sana. Kenyans are very upset about it. And this is of course the rousing welcome Ruto has received. The loud cheers of approval from Kenyans from this part of the country has really upset most. And the feeling that is ruling is that the people of Nyanza, just like Raila Amolo Odinga, have betrayed Kenyans. You see, until now, all Kenyans, all regions of the country were united in their demand of Ruto must go. But then now it seems Nyanza are saying Ruto must stay. Aye. How now? And so the political question is this the beginning of the recovery of William Samoei Ruto? Does it mean that Nyanza is the place where Ruto will start his comeback so that he is firmly back in power without any major threat hanging over his head? Is that what is going to unfold? Actually, cutting to the chase, the very simple answer to that question is no. You see, there are very many complex factors behind what we have seen happening in Nyanza. There are so many things that come into play. So much so that one cannot look at the latest developments in that region as a clear message. Far from it. In fact, I'm going to surprise you. In my opinion, this is a trap. In fact, a deadly trap. Yeah, for this presidency. People usually get trapped, yeah, when they look at something that looks very normal, something that even looks nice for them, and they walk straight into it when they are very relaxed. Okay? Only to realize when it is too late that they're trapped. They cannot move out of this thing. They cannot benefit from this thing. In fact, this thing becomes a great danger to them. Now I can hear you asking, how so? Okay, let us start this story from the beginning. Please bear with me. And then we go mos, slowly, until we understand. Many analysts believe that what we are seeing in Luo Nyanza right now is something we call Raila mania. Okay? It is the fanatical following of Raila Amolo Odinga and indeed the Odinga family, where the masses seek to do what they think will please Raila. Now what that means is that Raila does not have to send his people on the ground. No way. All that happens is that the masses look at what he's doing and then they analyze it and decide this is what Raila wants. And then they do it with a lot of vigor and a lot of enthusiasm. Now there are some people who say this thing is spiritual. I don't know. But the truth is, it did not start yesterday, and it did not even start with Raila. You know, people like James Agri Orengo, these days His Excellency, yeah, is a governor, got their political start from this Odinga mania. The late Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, at an impromptu political rally, simply mentioned his name. Young James Orengo pointed at him and did not even praise him. He said something to the effect, you guys should look at this guy. That was enough. When the opportunity to get elected came, and the elections came, Orengo won by a landslide. Somebody was completely unknown then. Yeah. But all it had taken was for Jaramogi to mention his name. Kwisha maneno. The guy was very elected. Fast forward to the present, it seems that the masses are interpreting recent political developments to mean that Raila is doing something with Ruto, and therefore Ruto is with Raila, and therefore Ruto is a friend of Raila. Believe me, it is as simple as that. No need for complicated analysis. Oh, this happened, oh, people on the ground. It is as simple as that. That is the way the Luo nation have operated their politics since time immemorial. Now I need to add a super fascinating aside here. Of all the communities we have in our beautiful country, one thing I love about the Luo, and I think the Ancient of Days also loves about the Luos, is how forgiving they are. This Kenyan community are very quick to forgive, and that is a good thing. Yeah, it's only that people should not take advantage of it. Evil people with evil intentions. Otherwise, it is a good thing. It is something close to the heart of the Ancient of Days. Former President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, the fourth president of Kenya, was more than shocked when shortly after the handshake he visited Kisumu, initially looking a little nervous, but he ended up shocked at the very warm reception he received. Indeed, after that, Uhuru just loved Kisumu, and he loved Nyanza, because whenever he went there, even Raila has never received such a welcome. People just loved Uhuru. The community quickly forgot what had happened shortly before that, because lives had been lost. Terrible things had been done to the community. But they quickly forgot, they forgave, and Uhuru became their hero. Okay? And so if we were to look at the latest developments in Nyanza, analytically, then we will quickly realize that this is not anything new. The way Ruto has been received, this is the way the community has always been. And that's how they behave. That's how they do their things. And they have no apologies to make. And nobody should expect any apology from them. However, here's why it is a trap. And the long and short of it is that it is a trap because of where we are today as Kenya, where the country is. Because there is a lot of suffering in the country. There are a lot of things in the country that have gone wrong. And you see, one other characteristic of this community one needs to be very careful about is that they are super intelligent. The Luo community are generally very smart people. I mean, the joke has always been told about graduations at leading Kenyan universities. When it comes to the science courses, the difficult professions, engineering, medicine, law, etc., etc., then it becomes an massacre. Onyango, Ochieng, Otieno, Otieno Otieno D, Otieno Z. And then drowning in that flood of top students for top courses, engineering, medicine, etc., etc., you will find a few Mutua or Kalonzo, Njoroge a bit there, etc., etc. But most of it is an massacre. These people are intelligent. And therefore, because of where we are as a country, what is going to happen here is that somewhere along the road, not very far off, very close, ni hapa hapa tu, somewhere down this road, the people of Nyanza will realize that something is not right. And it is highly probable this will be triggered by something that will happen, or a situation that they will find themselves in, which they believe they should not be in that situation, especially because now they're in government. That is the way people look at these things. And then, suddenly, kitaumana, it will backfire. And there's a very high likelihood that actually this is the trap that will end forever Odinga mania or Raila mania in Nyanza. In fact, if truth be told, we have already seen signs of Odinga mania ending in Nyanza. You know, these things usually happen slowly over time, mosmos, until suddenly wake up one morning, things have changed. You know, there was a time when in the entire Luo Nyanza region, if for any reason people suspected, just suspected, that you were against the Odingas, Raila Odinga, or even his father, there was no way you were going to get elected. Even rigging an election would have been impossible. Okay? Basically, you were finished politically. But is that the situation today? Of course not. In recent times, we have seen some Raila rebels getting elected into office. There are not very many, but they're there. And the number seems to be rising by the day. People are opposing Raila, and they're still managing to get elected. Something which was unheard of not too long ago. And therefore, this latest development, in my opinion, could actually be the trap that ends completely in the entire Luo Nyanza region. Yani finishes kabisa Raila mania. So that in the future, it will not matter whether Raila likes you or not. But what will matter is what you can do for the people. I see that coming very quickly. And in my opinion, this very warm welcome that Ruto enjoyed is the beginning of a trap that will end Raila mania. And by extension, taking into consideration the current political alignments, and by extension, will completely finish all possible support for Ruto in Luo Nyanza. Instead of securing that support in readiness for future elections, people are talking 2027, it will completely finish Ruto politically. You see, the Raila story in current politics is very deep. And there are things which most Kenyans don't know, the public has no idea about, that actually have a huge impact, explain Raila's out of character behavior in recent times. But don't worry about that, I'll come back to it shortly. The person who has to retain the presidency is Ruto. And Ruto and his handlers have made one fatal mistake. In all they're doing, in all their scheming, in all their political games, they have completely failed to see one very critical thing. And that is, today as we speak in Kenya, the people of Kenya are in a crisis. Okay? You know, when you're in a crisis, you cannot wait for tomorrow. You cannot wait for things to get better. You are in a crisis. You're in the mix. You have to get out of there like yesterday, as soon as possible. That's the whole idea. Now, the crisis that the people of Kenya have found themselves in, including the good people of Nyanza, is that life has become unbearable in our beautiful country. Unbearable economically. There's no business, there are no jobs, there's no money in circulation. People are finding it difficult to survive. But you see the way the government is behaving, it's like things are normal. People can wait. After all, Kenyans are patient. They can wait for another 2 or 3 years until the policy decisions you have made, I'm talking now how you dear people are thinking, until the policy decisions you have made will start bearing fruit and there'll be money in people's pockets. Now for starters, that is already a fairy tale. Yeah, for the simple reason, you cannot serve two masters. One will have to suffer, or you will like one more than you like the other. Because it is very clear that the Kenya Kwanza government has got two priorities. For individuals to get rich, and then development for the people for political gain later. Okay? Now you can guess which one is winning currently. And you can guess whether you see anything in the foreseeable future where development for the people will overtake individual selfish interests for gain and overnight wealth. Yeah, you tell me. So, bottom line, ni ndoto ya mchana. Okay? But even if it was true that the government has put in place some certain policies which will work out very well for Kenyans in the very near future, it is too late. Even if that were true, it is too late because Kenyans are already in a crisis. The issue now has become survival, and that is a very dangerous situation for any politician to find themselves in. Yeah, because the people will not listen. They will not do anything that the people will like. There is nothing they can do that will get the people to like them. That's the way it works. And so what I'm saying, in other words, is that the warm welcome Ruto has enjoyed in Nyanza is actually a time bomb. Yes, that is exactly what I think it is. But let's wait and see. Yeah, time always tells whether Kumekucha Chris is right or is wrong. Time will tell. Now, there is a Raila Odinga story that has never been told. It is a story of Raila Odinga behind the scenes. Raila Odinga trying to survive. Raila Odinga trying to outsmart some people who can never be outsmarted. Okay? It is a super fascinating story. And I'm afraid it is highly sensitive. And it is all in my latest special report. Yeah. Raila and the biggest decoy in Kenyan political history. It is very fascinating, this story. And one of the reasons it rings true, yeah, in case you don't trust me, and the research I usually do, and the exposés under my belt over the years, to be exact 20 years, 2 decades, when we reach the month of May next year. One of the major reasons why this Raila story rings true, even if you're not familiar with the Kumekucha brand, is that it neatly explains a lot of very strange, bizarre things that have been happening in our country since last year. And not only that, it gives you a clear view of what to expect very shortly. I'm afraid not good things. But fortunately, very, very fortunately, every dark cloud also has a silver lining. Okay. It is all there in my special report. Now you can see details on your screens right now. For only Kenya shillings 2,999 or $24 only, you can have this information that will make things so clear to you that there will no longer be any confusion when you're analyzing Kenyan politics. And neither will there be any confusion when you're trying to predict what is going to unfold shortly. Now, I need only 20 people This is not the kind of information, unfortunately, that can be distributed widely, for obvious reasons, and I'm almost at that number. So please rush, take full advantage of this offer right now, and make sure you squeeze yourself into that group that ends up with this super sensitive info. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.